At common law, there were two types of involuntary manslaughter. There were misdemeanor manslaughter, also known as unlawful-act manslaughter, and criminal-negligence manslaughter. We explore misdemeanor manslaughter in People v. Nelson. New York's multiple dwelling law, which we'll refer to as the Code, required landlords to maintain certain fire safety features in multi-dwelling buildings. Knowing violation of the Code constituted a misdemeanor. Edward Nelson was a longtime tenant in a multi-dwelling building that lacked the requisite fire escapes, sprinklers, or secondary means of exit. When he eventually purchased the building, the code violations were noted on the deed, even if not directly brought to Nelson's attention. Additionally, once Nelson was the landlord, the real estate agent of a potential tenant reminded him of the need for fire escapes. Nelson took measurements, but never went further. One day, Nelson was heating tar in the building's basement, intending to patch the roof. The tar ignited, and the fire spread to the building. Nelson ran to notify the tenants, but the fire spread too quickly. One tenant died trapped in the building, and another died after jumping from a fourth-story window. Nelson was charged with 2 counts of manslaughter on the theory that the deaths resulted from his commission of a misdemeanor. Nelson admitted that the building violated the code and that the violations caused the tenants' deaths, but he argued that he never received notice of the violations as required under the code, and the lack of notice was a defense to liability, because it negated any criminal intent to commit the underlying misdemeanor. The trial court rejected lack of notice as a defense, and the jury ultimately convicted Nelson. The appellate division affirmed, and Nelson appealed to the New York Court of Appeals, the state's highest court.